All right, so now we're going to talk about managing users. Now, I briefly talked about this in a previous video, but I want to cover it in detail because it can be useful. So if you go to the Users tab here under WordPress, you'll see our current user is just Greg, and that's the initial login we created when we created WordPress or when we installed WordPress. So we can actually edit this by going in here and clicking Edit. And there's all different types of stuff we can do here. We can actually put like a first and last name. So I could do Greg Morrison. I could do a nickname, so like my nickname could just be Greg. My display name could be Greg Morrison, like whatever I want. You could do a new email, my website, you could do a Facebook profile and all that. And basically this will show at the bottom of certain posts in certain themes. If you want to show like a picture of yourself with your name and maybe like resources for your LinkedIn, your MySpace and all that type of stuff. And this can be useful if you have a site that has many different authors especially. But even if it's just you, it can just give credibility to the author. But that's how you do it. You can also put in a bio about yourself. Again, here's the picture. This is also where you change your password and all that type of stuff. And then, of course, if I update, it will update what I just did. All right, so that's kind of editing the current user you have. You can also add a new user. Right? So if I add a new user, well, I will put in all this information, whatever we want, give them all their usernames. And then the big thing here is giving them a role. Okay, so you can give them roles such as SEO editor, SEO manager, subscriber, contributor, author, editor, and administrator. And these are going to give them different permissions in your site. Now, I don't remember what each permission does exactly. You can look that up in Google or just kind of Google WordPress permissions for whatever you're trying to do. But for example, an administrator will give them full access. So if you assign someone administrative access, it's going to be like a regular WordPress login where you can do everything. Whereas an editor, on that hand, will just be able to edit the articles on your site. Everything else won't be able to be access to them. They won't be able to get into the settings and all the other plugins and all that type of stuff. They will just be able to edit content. So this comes really in handy if you're hiring people to work on your site, whether it's a content editor or some type of VA or whatever it is, where you can set up different users with different permissions, and then you can kind of see what they're doing across the site. So if you have 5 authors on your site, they can each get their own profile and they can start building content. All their articles will be contributed to them with their name and their picture and all their information. And it can just can be very useful. But also, again, just creating access to someone like a VA who needs to make changes on your site. Instead of giving them your regular access and then having to change it, you give them their own. You let them log in for as long as you need them to log in there for, and then you delete it and they're gone, right? You don't got to change your own information. So I just wanted to quickly show you what the user section was about and how you use it. It's pretty simple, but it can be very useful. Again, I mainly use this just for adding in like partners and kind of putting in my own information and editing my own picture and bio and stuff. But I have used this for VAs where I have them go in and edit code in my site or do some more advanced things that I'm not as good at. But this covers users, and in the next video, we're going to start putting everything together. We're going to start actually building out this site a little bit and kind of putting up a real site and getting a real look for the website. So next video is where it all comes together.